Hi, I'm Mike from My Own Monkey with the Stop Rampaging Dice campaign, and this is the assembly video for the dice box. I got 3 rubber bands and my piece of sandpaper that come with it. It's partially used because I was building the tower earlier. It's plenty. Now I went with a maple chop. This is how we stack them. That's how you should get it. So I separate them out into the roof. I would set these a little farther away, which is basically these 4 pieces and this piece. You can tell the bottom from the top. This is in the bottom. And there's my sides. This wasn't even finished being punched out. I usually do better than that. So on these, you start with your sanding, because you probably have a little bit of the residue from the cutting. Make sure you have a good flat surface. Don't go too much at once. The detail's pretty deep, but you don't want to start wiping it out. So I wanted to make sure the flour was showing. I didn't want it hiding in the residue. So that helps bring it all up. If you take just a corner of the sandpaper, you can lighten little spots. Like in the window here, I'll show you that in a second. I kind of just put a light sand on that little bit. It's kind of a character thing. But like I said, you can tear a little piece off and just work specific areas if you want to lighten up certain spots. Just be careful again of the detail. Now, I chose the shop for a specific reason. It's the only box that has a specific assembly on the sides and front and back because of the chimney. So be sure and lay those out by each other. And then just a bit of glue on all your outer tabs on the bottom piece. Not a lot of glue, it goes a long way. This is the glue I've used for the entire project. Can't say I really used anything else except the white glue in the demonstration video for repair. Bubbles took 2 days outside without any problems in the rain and the freezing. So it's a good durable glue. It did discolor though from that. Now you kind of got to get 2 pieces ready so that they'll just hold each other. Everything fits together fairly snug, so you don't have to worry about rubber banding it too quickly. Then kind of like the house raising, you just get your pieces in place, roll them up in. tabs, and just continue doing this until you got there. You got all your sides on. And then I take 2 of the rubber bands, one on the top, and then one on the bottom edge. The excess glue, I wipe across the burned black. Save you a little cleanup later, depending on how you're going to finish it. And then I run my finger along the seams to clean up excess. Kind of turn it more into a bead like when you caulk. Till you got all, and that's the basic part of the box. Again, as I said, the reason I chose the shop was the chimney, because you also have that on these pieces. You'll see just a little bit of chimney on the edges. Again, make sure your pieces are lined up right. And then you do it just like you did on the box. Get your glue all the way around your outer tabs. Now on the edge, I put just a little bit up in that to help hold the corners. And then this being so low, you don't need to wait for another piece to help hold it. You can kind of get it on there. Little dab up in there, down the tabs. Up and in. Then I take the third rubber band. This part's kind of tricky because it's such a skinny area. Get that there. I usually lay it like that to make sure it's all good and flat. I wipe my excess away across the charred, blackened pieces. But unlike the box, we don't have to worry about this because we still have these to put in. I always start with the long one. Very light bead of glue down along the one bottom edge, and then lightly on the one end that will not go into the corner. See, we're using all that excess glue down in there to help us too. The light bead is to just help make sure. Put that into there. So we got that corner where they're all kind of going to overlap. A little bit on the end too. See, now it should be a little tight with all of them in there. Kind of push your low corners together, make sure they're good too, that you didn't push them. And then I slide the short ones to seat into the long ones. And then I kind of push in these corners. Make sure you're all sitting square. You kind of feel that edge where they come together. Make sure it's all kind of lined up. We'll get that all good in a bit, because now it's time just to set it to dry. Okay, the box has had a couple hours to dry now, too. We're going to take the rubber bands off. You're going to check your edges, make sure everything's in there good. But you're most likely going to end up with just doesn't quite want it. Yeah, it's a good tight fit. So we break out our trusty piece of sandpaper again, which so far we've done this tower and we did this tower. So this piece of sandpaper is plenty. The best way I have found to do the next part, and I've tried power sanders, but the best way is you just lay your edge of your sandpaper right on the edge of your box. We're going to take the lid, set it up in there, tilt it slightly. And then I usually count to about 5 while I'm doing this. And that'll start working our edge down. Oop. See, now that catching, that could be letting you know if there's a spot you need to get. See, and that's still going to be tight for me. And you can see I'm good that way. So it's my ends I gotta work. So you're just gonna keep doing this. Kind of start from straight up, but remember to roll it just that little bit. Now you notice on the sides, I started getting the charred edge, but here on the ends, I'm not. So that kind of helps give you an idea, I found, on when you're getting to where you need to be. This is the hardest part of the whole thing, is all the sanding to get a good fit on your box. Doesn't hurt to check this edge. Sometimes you get a little burr or something. And I'll round these as well, just a little bit. Make it a little easier for the lid. That's close. Yeah, see, I can start to force it, but we don't want them that tight. Now, I find that after you're all done with this, with the linseed oil, it does help make it easier after you oil it. That's going to be hard to open. So don't go forcing it too much, because I'd hate for you to break it trying to get it apart. Personally, this is the end that hasn't started to take the char, so I'm thinking this is where my problem is. Ooh, that's tight. Oh. Chimney. Ooh. That's a good tight thing, but it actually comes open fairly easy. Well, from that side. So just work it with your sandpaper till you get the feel you want. This is kind of a fine sandpaper that you'll be getting. It's 220. So you're not going to be taking a large amount in a couple seconds of sanding. I put the chimney in the wrong spot. Okay, sorry, we had some difficulties, but we're back now. So, not really knowing for sure what all we lost. I was working this edge. I didn't have the chimney line. Still a little too tight for me, in my opinion. Make sure where my chimney is. There, that's a nice fit. Can I get it off? Yeah, takes a bit of prying. I leave them tight. Use is what gets them in. It doesn't seem to take all that long. But then I'd get them where they come pretty easily. See? Not a problem. If you want it looser, I drop my stuff enough, as you've seen in my other videos. So, but there you go, the finished box. This piece of sandpaper that you get with your tower in your box, I did the tower in the box and another tower. So yep, everything you need. Thank you for your time. This has been Mike. Bye.